welcome to NUFC Talk TV. Obviously, we have got a panel with us today. We're going to have a quick look back at yesterday's game against Arsenal, reaching the final of the Carabao Cup. Mark, I mean, what can we say?
We're going to Wembley, man.
Yeah, we're going to Wembley, guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a little bit of a look at how Eddie Howe combated Arsenal's plan to try and get a 2-goal deficit back.
How, with an E, it was done.
Oh, indeed. But I suppose what we should do before we go any further is our usual thing on an afternoon, and that's obviously just to do the housework. So again, welcome to everybody across all of the platforms that are watching. Thanks to everybody in the background that does all that tireless work. But from myself, thank you very much, and I'm sure the panel agree. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoy the show. It just helps us get further as a channel to other NUFC supporters. Subscribe, it's totally free. Don't forget to hit that bell for any future content. We do more or less 7 days a week, nearly always live. So as soon as we upload a show, you'll get notifications when we go live. If you want to support us and help us grow as a channel, you can become a member. It's a small monthly fee that will give you a chance of winning a prize. We do monthly giveaways as well as behind the scenes videos that we do once upon a time and all that type of stuff. Really good content. You can have a look at our webpage as well, nufctalk.tv, for any of the latest news and content. As soon as we've got a good source for it, we'll upload it. I mean, Win and the lads usually do a cracking job at keeping on top of that. If you've got a question during the show for any of us in the panel, then please feel free to do so. Put a Q in front of that question and we'll do our best to answer it to the best of our ability. It's not guaranteed, by the way, because obviously you guys like to have lots of chats and it takes us a while to get up to speed with you guys. But if you want to guarantee it, you can use the $sign, follow the instructions, send us a super chat, and that'll guarantee that message read out. And obviously, if you've a new member or anybody that's out there that's already a member that wants to gift, you'll be highlighted and thanked as we go along. So a warm welcome to the Mighty Win. We've got our new boy with us. Welcome. I mean, he showed his face yesterday. Brand new guy. He come out of the, yeah, absolutely. He come out of the ground and Amrit and Win hijacked him. And obviously, even though Win knew a little bit about this lad, he's another quizmaster. And obviously, we've got the King of Qatar as well joining us this afternoon. Going to give their views on yesterday's game. So, I mean, without further ado, I suppose we should. Now it's Ernie, isn't it? The quizmaster. Yes, Ernie. It is Ernie. So
nickname. I go by the QMG, the Quizmaster General. So the Northeast leading quiz provider, but kind of like an event host compare role. I'm losing my voice slightly today as well. It's the worst day for it because I was too busy shouting at the game last night. But you're exactly right. I came out of the match absolutely buzzing and started feeding my face with one of the famous burgers from outside and got collared on camera instantly for my take on the match. But being on the screen, being in front of a microphone is nothing new to myself. So happy to share an opinion, but really happy to be here, boys. Looking forward to getting amongst it.
It's lovely to see you, Ernie. Like I say, it was lovely to watch the video early today of obviously Amrit doing a cracking job with the Mighty Win and getting all the punters on there. And you can just see, how happy everybody was on the way past that camera. It was an amazing evening.
It was a bit different to Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, a bit different to the Fulham game, where it was like, let's get the rope and put it round my neck time. How are you, Roy, over in Qatar? Oh, you're muted, buddy. I can't hear you. Turn your mic up a little bit. You're still very low, Roy. He seems to be having some problems with his mic. So we'll let us know when you've fixed it, buddy. Guys. There you go.
Oh, okay. I have to switch that. Okay, there you go. I was with you last night.
I know you were with us last night. It's just like I say, it's not usual for you to be with us during the daytime.
Yeah, I finished work and I slept about 4 a.m. in the morning, and I woke up about an hour and a half after work started, and I went to work really late today. So I walked in and I was like, I don't care. So, yeah, it was good.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
I'm still buzzing. I'm still buzzing.
Yeah. Can I ask all three of you guys? I mean, I would imagine this answer is not going to go to Mighty Win, but has anybody had a chance to watch the game back or the highlights back?
I have not as of yet, and I really wanted to do so for the offside goal.
Yeah.
I read a lot about it this morning, by all means. It does seem like it was offside, of course, but I'd love to see it back and watch the game back in its full. Because I got really carried away with that last night. I thought the atmosphere once again was unbelievable. The result, of course, and I think everybody was on a high coming out of that stadium. So yeah, I will be watching it back by all means.
Fabulous. The only question I was going to ask you guys was, what formation did you see?
Well, you know, we had this conversation in the pre-match, didn't we? When we saw the lineup, and we thought, bloody hell! Well, as I said from Asper's, a leopard can change his spots, and for the first time that I can ever remember, Eddie went starting lineup with 3 at the back, wing backs, and double pivot.
I was very surprised with the formation when I seen it.
I was delighted to see it, and I was also, by the way, delighted to see Trippier starting.
Oh, I know you were. Yeah, absolutely.
And
what a performance! Oh, absolutely. What a performance by the lad.
Did you notice that back four was the best back four in the league? The 4 of them were all there: Trips, Share, Botman, Burn. And so in reality, what I thought was going to happen was that Hall was going to take that third midfield position for Bruno.
Yeah.
But no, he stuck to Botman. We've developed a whole new playing system. Botman holding centre back, and Shea and Burn doing man for man on their respective players. Burn on Rice and Shea on Rice and Burn on whoever else they happen to put there, be it Odegaard or Partey. And I think it worked an absolute treat.
Well, I had
the formation came as a big surprise, by all means.
Yeah, I had the pleasure.
And we were all talking about who was going to replace Joe Linton in midfield, whether it be Longstaff or Miley, who was he going to bring. So to find out he wasn't doing that, and we went obviously one extra at the back, it was a very much surprise. Left a lot of people sceptical, but by God did it pay off. And then Eddie Howe we trust because he knows exactly what he's doing last night.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right, Ernie. I mean, the biggest question that we all had, and none of us could foresee this, because when we were doing the prediction lineup, the other night, it was a case of, who comes in for J7? Because if you remember, and this is where Eddie Howe obviously was very cute, because he was speculating that J7 was going to have a fitness test late in the day on Tuesday morning before obviously the game. But when you listen to his post-match commentary last night, he was saying that they were working on this system on Monday. So he knew that J7 was not going to be involved in this game. And that's what the doubt was. And it was a case of when you look at the squad, and you're right with what you've just said there, Ernie, who was the right person to bring into the side? Now J7, who's that, the mixer, the lad who's going to get stuck in, disrupt a lot of the play from the opposition out of the team. And it was a hard one to pick because they all have everybody on the bench that really give you the like for like option aren't very strong when it comes to that doggedry, that tackling. For me, I said I'd like Miley in a bit of a free roll because he can hold the ball and play it simple. But the beauty of Eddie Howe, and again, I have to go back, bringing Botman in was something that I hadn't seen. I wanted him in instead of Shaw, but actually putting him in the middle and Shaw and Trippier, wow. I mean, it just, like you said, it was an amazing. And just, again, I didn't want to interrupt you, Ernie, when you was on your talk. This is what I've seen so far. And like I say, I haven't gone through the entire game. I've tried to pick certain points of the game. We started off as a 3-4-3. That was regimented, if you like, because you could see that from kickoff. Then it went to a 5-4-1. Then it went to a 4-4-2. Then it went to 3-2-4-1. Then it went to 5-4-1, back to where it was before. And, you know, the one thing that I loved about this was, like I say, that decision. That decision to, J7 wasn't involved in the midfield. How can I get like for like and compete with that? And for me, the person that I've given so much stick to this season because of his defensive frailties, Fabian Schär yesterday was an absolute masterstroke in what Eddie Howe wanted him to do. And for me, it was just exactly what was needed for us to compete and win everywhere on the park. I don't know how you thought of it. I know, like I say, for me, Trippier did really well. There wasn't a player on that park that I thought had a bad game, if I'm honest.
I would say exactly that. Usually when we have these discussions and chats, there's always somebody's performance that you could maybe pick out. 1 week or one game that wasn't up to standard, but I don't think that was the case last night at all. There wasn't anybody at all. I think everybody was 100%. And again, still buzzing from it. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, what's your thoughts, Roy?
With me, with Schär, is the second goal. And I was like, what on earth is he doing up there?
Yeah.
And I was like, where's the midfield? And everybody else, what's he doing there next to Gordon, up there, up front?
And Dan Burn as well.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
Yeah. It was. I mean, like I said, I'm just going to put this onto the screen just so we get a little bit more of an idea of where we are. So this was the original setup yesterday. So from kickoff, Arsenal going with their usual 4-3-3, probably their strongest team, if I'm honest with you. And you know, straight away I looked at this and I'm like, wow, we're going man for man at the back in this situation. So is he trying to literally dominate the midfield with 4 against 3 and try and win the ball back there? And it's about challenging in the half space. And straight away, what I noticed was once the game got underway was where everybody's position was. And we're going to go, so I'm going to start with the top. The first thing that Isaac then just literally sat on Gabriel. And that was that pairing. Gordon, as I've suggested previously, and I don't know whether this has been a precursor for Eddie Howe trying to get Anthony Gordon close to Isaac in the previous games. And I don't know, I've said sometimes it seems to work really well. Other days it's looked a little bit scrappy, but the rest of the team was scrappy around them. Anthony Gordon then just drops onto Saliba. Now, Louis Saul, who I thought was good, like Wynne says, was going to be our wing back. His job was timber. Dan Burn then was Martinelli, who I thought was a bit of a mismatch, from the start. Gilmaris was Partey, Tonali and Odegaard. Trippier then onto Trossard. Fabian Schär then onto Rice. And I'm like, wow, that is a gamble. So straight away, it goes man for man across the park. And it was also evident for me, because of this system, and we were pushing them into them half spaces to win the ball back. If you notice from Dubravka yesterday, there was no messing around his area when he got the ball. It was long. It was getting the ball into these areas here to fight for, to compete for, and win the ball back at the halfway line at the very least. So on what I've just said there, when we went man for man, what was your thoughts?
Well, it was a master stroke. I didn't see it coming. I don't think anybody saw it coming. The general consensus was, dear, he's gone 5 at the back. He's going to try and defend for 90 minutes.
That's exactly what we were discussing in the pub just before we walked into the game. As soon as we've seen the lineup, we had this expectation. We had already said pre-interviews he was going to go for the jugular. We were going to go for the win. As soon as you seen the 5 at the back, you thought, hang on, he's going to park the bus, go overly defensive for the full 90 minutes and try and grab the victory that way. Obviously wasn't the case. The wing-backs pushed on. We were really high-pressing all game. And the second goal was a pure example of that as well. But I think you were quite fearful and sceptical when you first seen that lineup when it first came out. But again, as you previously stated, they would have been practicing that for days. They knew exactly what they were doing from the off.
Well, considering he's only had 48 hours, but like I said,
he said we started on that in his post match.
Monday.
He said we started on that on Monday.
Yeah. But like I said, I'd noticed a difference in the way Gordon had been playing probably 2 games before this, where Gordon would often sit in this position with Hall behind him, and he was doing these type of runs on an inverted left position, literally filling this space to get closer to Isak. And that, to me, I thought yesterday we actually saw the benefit of that. It was, like I say, an overall masterclass in the way it's set up. But I think Gordon's role now being close to Isak, what we've actually started to see is a relationship forming between the two of them. Like yesterday, there was a part where Tonali wins the ball back in this position here. He gets a touch and it was out of his feet and he's running forward. And Gordon, I mean, everybody's like in this position here, and Saliba. And what you get with Isak, he's running in behind, like you said, for the offside position. And it was Anthony Gordon that runs onto the ball and literally takes it from Tonali and feeds this ball into this channel here for Isak. And I mean, can I just say, you can absolutely understand why Saliba and Gabriel they must have nightmares about this guy.
Well, apparently Pampers are sponsoring them now every time they play Isak.
Because for me, it was a case of Isak, that finish. I mean, yet it was disallowed, but that was some finish.
Yeah.
You know, and I think you got to take credit where credit's due. Yes, it was offside by the slightest of margins, but by Christ, what a finish that was! And again, this is this play from Anthony Gordon taking up this half space on the inside left now, which has allowed the likes of Louis Saul to bomb down that left-hand side and support where before, with J7 in this slot and Anthony Gordon being out there, it was J7 who used to run this inside left position, which seems to have changed the way we build up now. And I really like this going forward. I think what Eddie Howe has seen now, unfortunately, we've lost another centre-half with Kelly going, which to me would have given you that little bit of a breather with knowing you've got somebody on the bench that can fill the void. My only concern with this was, like you said before, Win, was where the bloody hell, and Annie said, was where the bloody hell Shah going? Because he followed Rice in every corner of this field yesterday. And Eddie did mention post-match that it was more the fact that you have got a player that probably took his word to the extent, you know what I mean? And there was a time, for our second goal, Gordon's second goal, where you've got Rice getting the ball here and Fabian Shah literally tackling him here, in the number 10 slot. Absolutely fantastic by the players. And, for me, masterclass from Eddie Howe. Something not expected, but absolutely greatly appreciated from a spectacle side of things, because it was entertaining from start to the end. Yeah. And people say to me, and I've had a chat with a couple of guys this morning while I was out and about, because I was in my Newcastle top. And I'm in the middle of Coventry, and everybody's like giving me a bit of a well done for last night, blah, blah, blah. You get in your hotel, and I'm like, mate, I'll be happy to get a ticket, never mind a bloody hotel. I'll drive back and forwards in the day if I can get a ticket. But for me, it was more the fact that, what everybody else saw on the day, given the fact that we limited them to one chance for the entire game. I mean, Odegaard should have scored, if I'm honest with you. And that was the only mistake of Eddie Howe's setup yesterday. When you look back on the game, if you get the opportunity to, it was the only mistake. It was where Tonali doesn't follow his man. And I'll show you in a minute, because I've got a video that I've cut into sections. Obviously, I can't show the video because of copyright rules and stuff like that. But what I've got is timelines, and we could jump to these timelines just to show you what I mean in a second. And it was just one mistake that opened the door for Odegaard, and literally from that mistake, we then shoot up and get the first goal. So, like I said, from my point of view, tactically genius, totally underestimated when I first saw it, of how this team, like you said, Ernie, I thought from the outset, God, it's going to be 90 minutes of sitting on the edge of the box and just letting them come at us, time after time. So I thought it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So
I'll be honest as well. Even before the kickoff, the crowd were up for it. The atmosphere was PSG like, and it was absolutely non-stop. Not just from the Gallagher end, from all around the stadium. It was just sensational and completely different to Saturday, by the way, where I think the crowd had the same attitude as the players came onto the pitch with, which is, we've got 3 points here, we don't need to worry about it, da-di-da-di-da, and we've got our pants taken now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Considering how anxious the fans would have been last night, myself included, going into that game, obviously needing that first goal to relieve us of that anxiety. I thought they were complete 12th man again. They were phenomenal. The atmosphere was amazing. It was definitely a had to be there kind of moment, and the one we'll definitely not forget soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen? I'm going to say, have a few of the chats while I set up the next piece, matey, and then we can.
So we've got Dean in. Good afternoon, Dean. Afternoon, everyone. Eddie got it spot on. Trips for me, ruled the clock back, marshalled our outstanding defence. Quality. War ready, schooling Arteta yet again. Matt Thompson. Hi, Matt. Botman was getting a lot of the blocks Byrne usually gets. Centre-back, much better suited than right centre-back for him, especially having been out for so long. Jopadoni, never been a massive fan of Botman, always thought he was a bit overrated. Me too, Jopadoni. But if there are only me and another fan who feel the same, I must be missing something. And Botman was really brilliant. Agree with that as well. But I tend to think he gets a bit overrated at the time. Evening, lads. I was at the game last night. Truly, just what Ern just said there.
Yeah.
You had to be their moment. What an atmosphere. Didn't get home until 5 a.m., but well worth it up the tune.
Well, I tell you what I couldn't believe was the start with AC/DC. That Thunderstruck being
well, also blasted. You had
the saxophonist,
local hero on the sax. That was
stunning, wasn't it?
Spine tingling. That.
Yeah. It was stunning. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it because obviously we were doing the watch along. But I'd got it on my TV and I'd got it literally blasting in my ears while Tim was talking, just so I could gauge the atmosphere. And you quite rightly said, and I mentioned it yesterday at the watch along. It was very much PSG-esque when it come to the atmosphere. It was bouncing all over the place, and
French-esque on the end of PSG, like.
Yeah, exactly. PSG-esque. There's what to take into your quizzes.
Dean Young, Eddie provided a masterclass in tactics, outmanaged Arteta twice. Our front three were on fire. Murphy's goal was a great finish, much harder than look. That's very true. The best centre backs in the league. This is obviously referring to Saliba and Gabriel. Never. And Liverpool supporter here, Jody 1 foot Liverpool. Congrats, guys, on your win. I really hope for you and your supporters you win it and have a huge party up in Jordan. Might be Leicester City.
I was going to say it's Leicester City.
If he's hoping
it's Leicester City.
Yeah. Because Liverpool are still in it.
Could be Everton.
We are doing the watch along tonight. to see who we get, me and the mighty. So it'll be an interesting one.
We made them look disjointed, Dean. They are probs the best historically still. We just did a tactical class job and a great effort from the players. Yes, indeed. So that's all of them done. I've just thought, I haven't shown this, but carry on.
All right, mate.
I'll get this up.
So just so we can see, like I say, I can't show any of the video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilise the timeline just to give you guys an idea. So this is Arsenal at the kickoff, and as you can see, there's your 3, there's your 4, and there's your 3. So that was your starting point, which again was a little bit confusing to a majority of us that were watching because, like, it was. We keep calling Eddie out for not having a plan B, and then all of a sudden he starts with this one. Right, you've been one of his major critics over the past few years because of obviously him not changing things up. What was your thoughts on this?
Well, when I first saw the lineup, I thought, there's Chelsea from last season, parked the bus 90 minutes, and then for miracle to happen. After 3 minutes, I thought, no, this is not what I thought. So I never thought it was going to be 3-4-3 anyway. I thought it was 5-4-1. But then, within 3-4 minutes, you can tell that he's done something different. And I thought it was the wrong timing to try and do something different for someone who's always had a plan A, never a plan B. Suddenly, there's like plan A, B, C, D, E in one game here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was wrong. We know now, man. We know now.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because, like I say, we all think we know, having watched Eddie for 3 years now, that we know, well, we used to know what system he was playing, what time he was going to bring his subs on. I mean, it was so clear, wasn't it? And evident. And like I say, this is Arsenal's first really attack, and straight away you can see the defensive side of it. We've now gone into more of a 5 at the back there, and a little bit of an arc where there's Trippier out over the back there. Your midfielders coming into this picture here. And obviously Isak had gone to close the ball down with Raya, so he's completely out the picture. So again, it's this solid wall, this 5-4-1 formation, which is what we expected most of the time. I think Chris has just joined us because I can hear myself in the background.
I can.
Everybody else got an echo?
Yeah, I've got an echo as well. Oh.
Have you just put something on, Win? There you go. That's better. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but we were having some major echoes going on. I think it's just been cleared now. So yeah, and that was literally from the first setup. So straight away, you're thinking, well, here's your formation. This is your wing back formation. Nothing wrong with that. And then if you move it up to where am I? 56 seconds. And this to me was the pinnacle thing. I absolutely love this, and this is what I said to you before. We got to a situation where you've got Louis Hall, and you can see Timber here. So Louis Hall had got hold of him, Tonali and Odegaard, and everybody had got a man. And this is obviously Guimaraes and Partey, and there's Shaw in with Rice. And then your back 4, which is a bit of a box 4, because you'd got Botman coming out with Martinelli, which has obviously left a little bit of a space for Havertz to run in behind. And you'd got then Burn, who just dropped off because, again, you're looking at pace of the front 2, really. I'm not saying Trossard's that quick, but Trippier's got him, and Dan Burn's just giving himself a couple of yards. But it was the foot in by Botman. That was fundamental on this one. Martinelli comes inside. It was a long kick from Raya. Botman then saw the danger and he knew it was going to drop in front of Martinelli. But what Botman does really well, he just gets his foot on it and he advances the ball into the cauldron, if you like, where the boys are actually waiting to pick that second ball up. And again, if you have a look at this, and this is what I said about Gordon, his starting position. In the past, Gordon's been out here hugging this touch line. What we've seen recently now with Gordon is him coming into this type of area where he's more in line of getting involved with Isak and creating that bit of a relationship, if you like. And if I move it forward slightly, bear with me a second, to there. Oh, got to be careful how I do this. To there. This is Gordon's pass. This is Gordon's pass to Isak, who had got round the back and unfortunately was offside. But again, you look at who's following. Gordon's chasing. This is Tonali now. We've got 2-on-2 here. So if he shoots across the box and it's put into this zone from a save, then you've got a chance. Thanks, Dean 3 Tons, for becoming a member, buddy. So again, you've got. There was so much to this setup. There was so much movement. We weren't just reliant on the 2-goal advantage. Newcastle had a way of getting up the pitch with this relationship now that they've got between Gordon and Isak. It was going to be a first-time ball every time, and we were on the front foot. So from the first, that's obviously on around about 14, 15 minutes. How did you feel at that point when you saw us, in this way of playing?
Well, what you're not seeing is that during that period as well, we were still creating loads. Even like you say, Odegaard, if he puts that away, you could argue it's a different game.
Well, we're going to come back to that in a second.
That's certainly what all of the Arsenal channels have been saying. If he puts that away, it's a different game. Would it have been really? I think would have just come back anyway. But it was just a joy to watch, man.
It was, and that what a finish I can say that was, because with his right foot to go across Raya and shape that ball into this top corner was outstanding.
Yeah,
he's got
which, to be honest, I've always been a critic of Isak in that respect. His one-on-ones haven't been, 100% by any stretch of the imagination. But he got that one spot on. Sadly, similar to his Liverpool couple of years back.
Yeah.
Just an eyelash offside. I've just we were referring to the atmosphere. I forgot I hadn't uploaded this.
Is that where we got that rebound in our ears?
No, this is pre-kickoff.
Yeah. I've just moved it forward just while you're sorting your video out, Denwin, just so I can go through this while it's on the screen. If you look here, this is what I wanted to highlight of how far. You've changed it already. Okay, I've just seen.
Can you hear that?
No, we can't hear anything, mate.
But it's the best seat in the house, though. Lucky git.
I thought the atmosphere was amazing again last night. I was bottom of the Melbourne.
Hang on.
Oops, it's gone.
Right.
Are you taking it off?
I'm just trying to get the sound.
The sound. On. You need to share your whole screen when you're doing that one.
Yeah, it is whole screen.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And you go back to your ordinary share one, and whack your audio settings on.
It was that was when I uploaded on the editing screen originally. That's what I did, and that's when you said you were getting the echo.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, like I say, if you do that, don't know why it's echoed, to be fair, unless obviously it's reverbing through your mic, because I know you plug yours into your mic.
Yeah. 2 seconds. Let's just give it one last shot here. Oh, that's Gary. Wait a minute.
You got it?
Screen, share audio. There we go. Share.
Because I must admit, it was amazing.
Why is that not? At the scene.
You got it?
Yeah, but it's not. Let's just try it. See what happens.
Yeah, file it on. You're on there. That's how small it is. There's no point when.
Right. Okay. We'll have a play. We'll have a play.
Have a play for later, and we'll have a look at the end.
Remove.
Yeah, don't remove yourself.
No. I'm sure people would be happy if I did.
Oh, I'm sure they wouldn't.
Put him in prison. Put him in prison.
You need to get it off though, because we've got that echo still on.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it goes on.
There you go. I think we've done it. Right, let's get back onto this one then. As you can see here, all I wanted to show you here was Rice and Shaw. I mean, this isn't our goal, by the way. This is still early on in the game. This is before the Arsenal chance. And we were making some comments. Why is Shaw here? Because we still hadn't worked it out that Eddie Howe had gone tactically man for man. So it was again, so good to see what he tried to do. And then, I mean, you guys were there live. I know Win and Ernie were there live. When you saw Shaw up that end, what was your thoughts?
Well, like I say, it wasn't just Shaw. It was or Share, not Paul Shaw. It wasn't just Share. It was Byrne as well.
I've burned a few times now.
He was on the left hand corner of their box at one stage. And I went, what the hell? And then you saw him lulloping back lulloping back to get back. I thought, oh, he's going to get pelters if this goes wrong.
Yeah.
Not realizing that in fact he was only obeying orders.
Yeah, exactly.
I was only obeying orders.
Yeah, exactly.
They were highly pressing the whole game right up until the end, and you could clearly see after X amount of minutes of the game they had been instructed to do so. But again, how well it worked was great to see.
Yeah, well, you see, I'm just going to show this one now because, again, this is me holding my hand up because when I criticise a player, I criticise a player for what I see. And when I see the same player doing something really well, I'll hold my hand up again and say, this is what I want to see. And this is Lewis Hall. He gets the beaten by the ball, if the bounce of the ball, who I thought had a bit of a shaky start at the very start of the game. Martinelli's got a chance of going 1-to-1 with Byrne down the side here, and straight away you've got Shaw and Botman, and this is Rice up here. Look, I mean, Shaw has broke his back to get into this position to support the lads, because knowing full well that Byrne was going to be out of position, and I thought that for me yesterday was again. I don't know whether that come from Trippier, because Trippier, for me, was the captain yesterday, and he was the voice captain. He was talking to Shaw and Murphy virtually the entire game, and he was pointing his finger at everybody. And to me, it was an absolute joy to see Trippier back to his, well, I can only say his very best, because I haven't seen many games where Trippier has not only been a really good leader on the park, even though he's not got the armband, but it was the shithousery. It was absolutely everything from the first whistle to the final whistle.
Jody Dan there. I thought the formation change would be risky. Shows you what I know.
Well, absolutely. And that was all of us.
And you're not alone, by the way, Jody Dan. You are not alone.
Yeah. It was crazy, really. I just wanted to take you to the part where I was saying where we probably let it slip a little bit, which is their one and only chance, really. Excuse me. So Partey's got the ball here. Now, we all know Bruno, that was Bruno's man. So Bruno had stood off a little bit because obviously we want to get our shape back. But what happens is Anthony Gordon, because he just tried to close down at the top, was obviously struggling to get back. And this sometimes is where we lose that little bit of comunicado, if you like. So now we've got 5 across the back, we've got 3 in midfield and 2 up top. So Partey's got a little bit of a gap to play in, and it was this pass through here. And what happens is you get, because Bruno isn't closing, and obviously you haven't got Gordon covering this space, Tonali's in two minds where to go, whether to close or whether to drop off and go to Odegaard, which is his player. That's what he's been told to do. That's his task for this game. And this is where we lost that momentum a little bit and that cohesion. So let me just bring it back forward a slight bit. As you can see, the ball's come through them. This is the first time that Botman gets a little bit lost because he's got attracted to the ball. So he's come forward to try and stop that ball coming through. So that left a massive gap between Shaw and Byrne here. And he sees Havertz with an absolutely great opportunity to get it out of his feet, get into the D and take a shot. That then attracts Byrne. As you can see, he's now starting to move into that direction to close that space. And, you know, again, he goes literally through Havertz up top. But for whatever reason, the ball gets squirmed out into this position here where Odegaard, which I thought should have been a goal, glances the post. So for me, that was the only time in the 90-odd minutes that we looked a little bit out of shape. And I think that takes some doing. You know, when you look at, you know, all of the great teams throughout a 90 minutes period, there's going to be one mistake somewhere that you're going to give the opposition opportunity to go and score. And that was Arsenal's, and they didn't take advantage of it.
Indeed.
Any thoughts on that before we go on to the next thing?
Not at all. Completely agree. I mean, don't underestimate Arsenal. They're a phenomenal side as well. So, of course, they're going to have chances. They're going to have breakaways, but it's how we reacted to it as well, isn't it? So,
absolutely. Absolutely. Just going on to what I class as probably the best 2 touches I have seen from Isak in the time that we've bought him. And he's had many a good touch. But for me, there's this touch here where he guides this ball. It's again what I loved yesterday. No messing about with our back line with the short ball. It was get it up and compete in the 3-quarter zone, as I call it. And as you can see, Murphy and Gordon very narrow, where usually we see them touching the sidelines. They've come very narrow. They're competing. Arsenal gone man for man at the top end, thinking that they're going to beat us. But Isak's touch here was absolutely outstanding, and it was the outside of his outstretched right foot that he feeds it into Anthony Gordon. I'll just see if I can bring it forward slightly. Oh, it's going backwards, sorry. Where do I need to be? 30. What did I put there? 35. It's showing you highlights of that one again, sorry. I've got to be careful that I don't press play. So, just going to bring it back one more. Just got to be careful because it literally is by segments. This is. So there you go. It was a touch into Anthony Gordon, and it was that touch then from Anthony Gordon into Isak that actually comes off his thigh. Now, you know, when you're at pace, and it was the spin, that to me was absolutely outstanding. That touch with his right foot to Anthony Gordon around the corner, and it was that movement again to beat and break from that central position, knowing you've got both Murphy and Gordon in that narrow spot, so he could have gone on the outside. Hopefully Murphy would have reacted towards the ball. Anthony Gordon has reacted to the ball because, again, this is that relationship that they're building now, and it seems to be getting stronger. And it's Anthony Gordon's awareness of where to put the ball back. And again, if I move it on slightly, there you go. I'll move that. There's that touch with the outside of his right foot. In days gone by, I'll hold my hand up. I think that Isak, that this is one of his weaknesses with his back to goal. I don't think he's strong enough in these positions. But again, against Arsenal, I don't know whether he's got some personal vendetta, because he seems to really shine in these areas. And then it was that touch with his thigh where he's running away from the two centre halves. Again, it's speed of thought. He's doing everything right. But that shot that he produces with his left foot was, again, total masterclass. Ray has been no mug for Arsenal this season, but to get that ball with the shape of that ball into that, to come off the post, was outstanding. And again, I'll give credit where credit's due. Murphy's follow-up. I'm hoping I can just get that without going on to play or come back a touch. Apologies for that one there. That was a harder shot than people give him credit for, because he hadn't got really time to take a touch.
No, it came at some pace.
And it come up with some pace. And don't forget, you will have a lot of spin on that ball from the deflection from the post. And to get that under control and direct it towards goal, even though from here looks absolutely simple, that took a hell of a lot of technique.
Indeed.
I think you summed that up perfectly. Exactly that the pace of that ball coming off the bar, the reaction time by Murphy. Looking at that image there, and I remember it well last night, it looks like an open goal. So the expectation is to be finishing in that open goal, but it's not. It's a really difficult take. And for me, Murphy's been my turnaround player this season. This time a year ago, I would say he was one of our weakest links. But this season he's been absolutely phenomenal. And again, I suppose the credit there goes towards Eddie Howe once again. But Murphy, fantastic finish.
Yeah, superb finish. Roy, you've been quiet. Come on, mate. Let's have your thoughts.
Just amazing. Like Murphy, I'll never ever say anything bad about this lad. Ever. unlike this one. Him and Dubravka, what was it, 7 weeks ago, when everything changed. And
7 weeks ago, you wanted everybody out.
I know. And look, we went 3 games or something. We couldn't even have a shot on target properly or anything. And then suddenly winning, and then lost 2 games. Doesn't matter. And then now this.
Yeah, absolutely incredible goal.
And there's players like Murphy and Dubravka give 110% every game. That is really hard. I mean, you can try this even in practice, and you probably not get it every single time. Yeah. And it actually did touch the bottom of the right-hand post on the way in. So it was really hard for that legend man Murphy.
Superb, mate. What was you saying, Win?
I was saying I've WhatsApped you that clip that I took.
Okay, mate. I'll have a quick look in a minute and see if I can get it going.
You can jump that, and while you're doing that, I'll just jump in the stars again.
Yeah.
We've got Mark Cooper. Hello, Mark. Botman's the best centre-back we have, so he should be playing every game instead of Shea, that's been making a lot of mistakes. Well,
it was
perhaps not now instead of, but as well as.
Or 3.
Yeah. Shea played very
you know what's
well
going to happen now? For the next 3 years, it's going to be the same formation now that we used it.
Yeah.
Shea played very well yesterday. Similar to Trips, it was a vintage performance from him, in my opinion. And
we do need to change the tactics and formation based on who we're playing anyway, don't we? And it just goes to show you that we can't do that. And we could do it exceptionally well.
Well, is that true, though? Because, Eddie has been notoriously stick with the same team, stick with the same formation.
He has indeed, but last night is a perfect example of, I mean, yes, you could see he could have done it earlier in the season, but last night's a perfect example of him changing that, surprising absolutely everybody, and coming out with this tactical genius side of the formation. Also changed throughout the game as well, didn't it? And again, that's something he's done to accommodate Arsenal and the style that they play. So totally get where you're coming from with that. I mean, yes, he is notorious for not mixing it up and not changing it to suit your opponent. But he can, and he has, and hopefully he's seen himself how
He
well
will
it works.
continue to do so.
Fingers crossed. It's the world of
Yeah.
football. It never ceases to surprise us, does it? But
No,
fingers
not at
crossed
all.
he's seen that we can.
Yeah. Brant's there out from over the pond. Something I talk about a lot. If the leadership is the leadership at the back, Byrne has been the guy, but Tripp seems to be better as a leader back there. That's why I have issues with Botman share at the back. Yeah. Are you anywhere near with that, Gary, yet?
Well, all I wanted to show on this one is this wasn't our second goal, but again, it was that relationship that I was relying on before, where before we'd have Gordon would be out here, wouldn't he? You know, over in this area here, running the lines, which would leave Isak 9 times out of 10 solitary, nobody around him, and it's a gamble whether he wins the ball. But this is what I wanted to see more. The closeness between these two that I've seen in getting better and better in previous games yesterday reached that pinnacle. They hunted in packs, the two of them. This was Saliba, Gabriel heading towards Saliba. So these guys were on the halfway line. It was again long ball down from Dubravka, trying to highlight the weak areas for these two. We ended up, it was 3-on-2. Then it was because of our pace, the two lads had run past the midfielders, and it ended up with 2-on-1 because of that header. Again, it's all the pressure that Isak is bringing to these two. What, again, I have mentioned more than once, I believe are the best two pairing defenders in the Premier League. I'm not saying individual, but as a pair, they seem really tight and understand each other. Isak seems to make it so difficult for the two of them. They made mistakes together yesterday, and this was again where Anthony Gordon picks up the loose ball, sees Raya off his line, and unfortunately misses, not by a country mile, but for me personally, I think he could have done better. You know, I was saying to him he had a shot that went past the far post because he hadn't got enough shape on the ball. This time he had too much shape on the ball, and unfortunately it goes awry and he misses. But you know, I just wanted to highlight the fact that these two are starting to form a really good understanding of one another high up the park, and for once. I haven't seen Isak isolated. It was great to see, you know, with Murphy being up there as well at one point. Obviously, this is going on further into the game in the 50-odd minute. Murphy had been defending. It just left the two of them up top. But again, they're not just waiting for something to happen. They're making something happen by that pressure. And to be fair, that was, I'm not going to go and show you the Murphy goal because we all know it comes from, again, that press of Shaw on Rice. A crazy pass from Raya. He must have seen the distance between Rice and Shaw behind him. And he should have just gone long, as he had done all game. But he
When you get
decides
impressed,
exactly. When you get pressure, absolutely.
He looked like hope, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did, absolutely. So I just wanted to, you know, give you a little bit of an insight on what I had seen through that game. I'm not saying it's what everybody's take was. It was, for me, just one of those games where whatever Eddie Howe tried to do, it worked. Apart from just that once where we were let down by one player just being out of position, which then had a trigger reaction to 2 or 3 players. Yeah, not really understood, but not sure whether they should stick or go. And I think that's where we got a little bit undone. But you know, for me, it was amazing. I'm just going to have a try, see if I can bring yours up, Win. So if you want to crack on, I'll have a play in the background.
Got a few more comments in, just relating to what we've been talking about. Botman has to start every game now. He's way too good to sit on the bench.
Yeah, but who would you drop, Shaw or Dan Burn?
Well, there's the million to one question.
But isn't it great that we've got options these days as well?
He's from Blythe, you know.
Hmm.
Didn't want to be dropping him. Jody Dan just goes to show. Hats off to Eddie
I'll
Arsenal.
play the cup with Kraft.
Well, you know, we'll be talking about that tonight, of course, on the preview. But we're saying we've let Kelly go. But don't forget, when Kraft came in earlier on this season with the injuries, when Cher was suspended, Kraft didn't let us down. Kraft and Byrne looked tremendous.
Every game.
That was when we went through the period when allegedly we weren't playing well, but we were getting results before we started playing well and getting beat. So I've got no worries at all about Kraft coming in.
Yeah,
I mean, I was going to mention what a comment that I think was Jody Dan just popped up there. I was going to say exactly the same thing, that Arsenal were flapping, basically. I don't think, as much as the high pressure, obviously you've got that second goal, the keeper makes a mistake, the pass is a mistake, but the flapping, they were just as surprised as we were in regards to the formation and how well we were playing and how well that formation was working. We weren't expecting it as fans. I don't think Arsenal were either. And so Jody Dan's just touched on it there in a comment. That's exactly what I meant before. Arsenal weren't ready for us playing like that and weren't expecting it. And after that first goal, it was sort of punched. And again, I think they started flapping, basically.
Yeah. It was like I say, it was one of them evenings, very much like I say, like the PSG. It was bouncing, you know, because I couldn't get to the ground, I couldn't get a ticket. It was like I couldn't have been anywhere else, if you know what I mean. And I even the hairs on the back of my neck when I was listening to it was standing up, and I'm like, wow, I would, like I said, I'd have given my left leg to have been there last night, no problem. Just for you guys to get some idea of how it was. I'm hoping I've got this working now. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
No.
No, I can see it, but there's no volume, unfortunately.
You still can't hear that?
No.
Oh, it's weird. I don't know why, because I have done everything in my power on my screen to do it. So it's obviously something that's happening on there. So
we're not getting the echo. Did you do the share sound and things?
Yeah. I did everything that I would do normally.
I don't know, because
I don't know why.
I play it myself, the volume's that.
Same as me. I could hear it in my ears, but obviously it's not coming across to you. But you know, when you sent me videos the other day, it did exactly the same. And it's ever since I've plugged this sound card in, I'm gonna have to have a play with this.
Oh, you and your fancy technology.
Yeah. All I get now is dogs barking in my ears and no bugger else's. But
I felt it, gents. So again, yes, we could see it there, and there was no volume, so we couldn't hear it for the listeners. But I can tell you, I felt it. I literally goose pimples on my arms from the off. The saxophone at the start.
Yeah, that's what I've got the sax on that clip. I was actually filming them through the flag because I asked it where the surfing flag came down.
I was bottom of the Milburn stand, and honestly, a few rows up, and it was electric. It literally was electric. The whole atmosphere was unbelievable.
Right, I'm gonna try it again. See if it works this time.
Yes.
It is.
Not very loud though. Hey, let's go. One thing left, I don't know, all dressed up and ready to go.
I love the stripes.
Yeah.
And they had all the stripes up the stand. It was absolutely outstanding.
He's coming round onto the sax now.
Oh, there you go.
Under the flag.
So that you can just see the sax player through the with the flag.
I mean, credit to Johnny and all. I mean, he's a local lad. He would absolutely love that himself as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. You know what really got me though was did any of you guys see J7 just walk with the crowd into the stadium?
I did not know.
Oh yeah. There's some guys have filmed him. He's outside, just his typical Brazilian blonde hair type of guy. I mean, his stature's huge. You can't miss him, and he's just walking, with his shirt on. He's got his Brunel shirt on, the old shirt, which is fantastic, and his scarf, and he walks in with the crowd type of thing, through the doors. I mean, how many more players would have done stuff like that? You got me? It's very rare you see that type of stuff. So I think that that just shows you. And obviously he was well and truly with it towards the during the game, and obviously he was in the photo shoot afterwards. So absolutely amazing. But as you quite rightly say, Win, absolutely rocking, wasn't it, in the stadium?
You keep it going, the flag disappears in a minute.
Right, I'm going to go back on it.
Makes me want to take up saxophone lessons now.
Sounds lush, doesn't it?
Yeah, don't beat.
That's what I loved. Just as that finished, that roar.
Well done, Billy boy.
That's back. Yeah, that's mine as well.
You're not getting a proper indication of the volume there, because I mean it was just rocking.
Well, without blasting your ears off, which I'm not going to do because you've had your hearing aids put in.
No, I've got them out. I've got my plugs in now.
But like I said, you get a full understanding of what was there and what was all to see. So I thought it was phenomenal. If I'm honest with you, it was outstanding. And like I said, it wasn't just that. It was through the match, having a look at certain individuals on my screen compared to obviously what the Americans was showing me, because they go to adverts a lot of the times over there. You could everybody was just up for this game.
And Jacob Murphy finally got a song.
Oh, did he get a song?
Yeah, it wasn't very original, to be fair.
Was it Starman?
When he was subbed, it was one Jacob Murphy.
Ah, right,
There's only one Jacob Murphy.
Oh, Tetler got a few songs last night.
Tetler got it right.
Absolutely.
Big laugh at all Tetler ones. The ball, even the ball, amazing.
Yeah.
Blame the ball, Arteta. Blame the ball.
Amazing.
The ball,
it was quality.
He didn't fight, unfortunately. He just kept his head down. Even the crowd right behind him were doing it, but unfortunately he didn't bite.
Oh, crazy. Like you guys, we've done an hour. Obviously, we are back on later. Is there anything that you guys want to add about what you saw live? Roy, anything that you saw on the telly that I've missed that you want to add?
No, the only thing was the share for the second goal up there. I'm still like, what the fuck was he doing?
Yeah. Well, that's why I put it at the start, because it was exactly the same situation, and like I said, for me, by just showing you the goal doesn't show you what he was doing before that. And I wanted to give you the sense of his role with Rice. It doesn't matter where Rice goes, Shaw follows. And if you saw, there was a part where Rice was actually on the right back position. Shaw was with him. And Eddie afterwards turned around and said, I couldn't have picked a better person to have that role. Because Shaw, even though he's getting on now in age, he's one of the fittest in the crew. He's the one that still wants to run during the training games where everybody else wants a drink. So, for me, like I said, he did that role and he did it superbly well. And that's
Well,
why I wanted to mention Shaw.
I won't say I told you so, but I took Pelters last season by saying it would be worth giving Shea a shot at number 60. And by the way,
Yeah.
Gary, we've got an echo there now. That might be that thing still.
All right, but I can't hear anything myself, but I'll get rid of it anyway, see if it worked better. Is that better?
Yep, that's it.
Oh, there you go. It was. I don't know what it is then on that thing, because like I say,
No.
I don't hear it at all in my ears, and that's probably what you were saying. But you know, what's
Yeah.
that?
Anyway, so what I was saying was I suggested trying Shea as a DM last season. How can Shea possibly play DM? Da-di-da-di-da. And, you know, what do you know, a stupid win? But it just went to show yesterday he could. Couple of comments. Murphy's goal was incredible. People had said it was a tap-in or a joke. And Mark, Murphy has been a baller since he joined. Oh, this is 2020 hindsight coming out here. I remember him keeping us in a 2-1 loss to City basically by himself. But he was bruised. And unfortunately, some fans allow that excuse for other players, but not for Murphy. Yeah, I think
Not completely agree.
that's kind of fair comment.
Murphy was one of them. I think he's really turned himself around. He's definitely having his best season of his career this season.
Yeah, I mean, he was up there on the assists last season, but I don't think he.
I
don't think he
was top of the tree on chances created.
Yeah. I don't think he was as clinical as he has been this season.
The problem is that the rest of his game doesn't match the stats for his goals and assists.
Yeah,
and he does. Like I said, we've still got, I think, probably too many players that make the individual mistake too often. You know, everybody makes a mistake on the day. You're only human at the end of the day. But again, I think he's one of them players that can frustrate a lot, and because he makes a mistake more than he should do really at this level.
I think Isak's the key one for that. I think individually, Isak can make a lot of mistakes individually, but flipping that, look at his stats, look at the goals he's knocking in. He's best striker in the league by a long shot, in my view. So again, but when he gets the ball, as you touched on earlier, he is prone to make a mistake, or maybe it's a wrong decision, but keeps putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's what we want.
I think the difference is when you make a mistake at the top end of the field, you very rarely get punished. You know, when you've seen like the likes of Shaw make a mistake at the back, you're getting punished. So, you know, there's swings and roundabouts. And I mean, there's lots of people said that it was Murphy's foul for Fulham when they got the second goal. It was his mistake. Well, in actual fact, the ball had to travel 70 yards before it got there. It could have been stopped at some point, make a clinical foul, you know, things like that. And I think sometimes we let the ball progress far too far down the field from individual mistakes and then go back to punish them. And I think that's unfair.
I think the Fulham game was just a bad day at the office. Fulham were well organised, really organised. They're a great team on paper. Of course, we should be beating teams like that if we want to be looking further to progress.
Well,
but it's football, it's a Premier League, so it's not always going to happen week in, week out. And Fulham was a bad day at the office. It would be great if we played like we did last night every week. Of course it would be, but we need to be realistic. But got to stay positive moving forward based on last night. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and also against Fulham, by the way, we did create. It wasn't like Bournemouth. Fulham, we created loads of chances. We just didn't finish with dinner.
Yes, exactly that. I mean, Bournemouth,
which has been a massive problem for us.
Bournemouth wiped the floor with they completely figured it out, and they were unbelievable. Bournemouth, all credit to them. Fulham, I just think, was a bad day at the office. We hit the woodwork twice. A very organised team, very good team on paper. Fulham, but we should have really nipped that one and nabbed that one. But again, that's football, gentlemen. You're just going to move on and take on what's next.
Absolutely, well, which is Birmingham. In another cup.
Yeah.
So
kind of is saying the Forest parent takes from beating that's Milenkovic and Morello, isn't it?
Yeah, they have done this season.
This season they've been outstandingly. But
everyone's waiting.
You just got to look at the goals against Column, and Gabriel and Saliba are better.
Everybody's talking about Forest will drop, but we're in February now, and they don't look like they are dropping or going anywhere. So credit to them.
Yeah, it's funny how we give them
We
Anderson,
play them
and
at home, though.
their form goes even higher. You know, two ex-players of ours seem to be flourishing at Forest,
Yeah.
even though everybody, you know, in the black and white as a supporter then didn't want them in the squad. They wanted rid of them. So it's like I said. Sometimes you can see difference in players, and I think Anderson going to their midfield has allowed Gibbs White more freedom because
Yeah.
he's the one who will sit and run and run and run all day for you, and Gibbs White's feeding from that.
Oh, wait a minute, where was
Yeah.
that? There we go. 5 goals, 8 assists, and all. And there was I forget where I saw somebody. 'Cause it's not an original thought on my behalf, sadly. But if in this summer or in January, if we'd spent £60 million on a Spanish international right winger, and he'd had the same stats as Murphy's got this season, we would have been raving about him, saying what a bargain he
Yeah.
was. Da di da di
What?
da. How did we get him for 60 million? 5
Yeah,
goals,
yeah.
8 assists. Da di da di da.
Yeah, we'd be
But
putting him up like Anthony Gordon last year with the
but
Player of the Season award.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But because it's Jacob, he doesn't get the
Well,
same.
people, you're always going to get your people wanting to pick fault in the team, of course, and they always want to have a bit of negativity in there. And again, that's football. We've all got our opinions by all means, and that's why it's great forums to discuss them. But we didn't need to buy anybody. I mean, who are you replacing? Who are you taking off straight away? I mean, if you go back a couple of seasons ago, we wanted maybe you look at Longstaff as your weakest link, so let's replace him or Murphy. You wouldn't now. We've got the best midfield in the league with the 3 in the middle. You're not replacing Murphy. We're not dropping anybody. We've got options, as you mentioned before. If with people like Barnes on getting a game, you've got a good squad and a good team out there. So
Cool.
Oh, hey, Ernie, that's why I've got you on. You see, you can join the happy clappers and get these bedwetters
gonna-
putting up
I
players.
do like negativity, me. I can't.
Yeah.
I've always got to try and
Now
remain
he's
positive.
gone. I'm happy with Clapper.
Look at Roy with his piggy mask.
I've got a Jimmy Neal mask. I don't know why, but we've got a Jimmy Neal mask. Yeah, God.
Love it. Absolutely. How weird is
And
it?
it was a big river. I want you all to know.
Yeah, Dean Young saying we're going to have Umbuemo in the next window. So there you go. That could be some. There could be
Yeah,
some
well,
change coming
I
your
hope
way.
so, if not Boone.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I agree with that as well. You know, I think there's been a little bit of a shift regarding Gordon's form. You know, being inconsistent, if you like, because he has been asked to change what he's trying to do, and we all know Gordon likes to run at defenders. He likes to get in and behind, come back on his strong foot on his right, and try and find that far post. But this, like I say, the relationship that he's trying to create now with Isaac, I think he's going to get stronger and stronger as the pair grow together. So long may it continue, is what I say.
100%.
Indeed,
Yeah.
a Rooney.
Right then, I think that's it. That's the show tonight. We've got what we 7:45 tonight on the watch along. If anybody's interested in coming to watch who we're going to be at Wembley with, so we'll be just having a bit of
Who
a
plays
laugh.
the tune playoff?
Absolutely,
You want Spurs, don't you? Really, we're hoping on Spurs. I mean, our record against Spurs is great, especially as of recent. Liverpool, arguably best team in Europe at the minute. So of course we're hoping Spurs do a favour, but based on last night's performance, we'll roll the dice. Whoever it is, we'll take them on.
We'll take them on. Absolutely,
See,
you can only beat who's in front of you.
I'm slightly maybe not, because Spurs are as desperate for a trophy as we are.
Yeah, exactly that. So it'd be great. I mean,
Whereas Liverpool by then, Liverpool in a month's time, will still be fighting probably on all 4 fronts.
yeah,
And their priorities will be Champions League, Premier League,
which they'll do well. They've
and
got the Premier
FA
League
Cup.
bottom.
So it wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool were to play not the strongest team, let's say, as they did, last year.
Yeah. I mean, Spurs and Newcastle desperate for a cup, so it'd be great to see them going for it. We'll let Liverpool crack on.
I think Liverpool could I know it sounds stupid with Salah marauding up the right and doing Lewis Hall as he has done, but let's have another Eddie master plan for to take care of Diaz and Salah. And let's see where we go. But anyway, whoever it is, what que sera, sera. Tell me, mommy, ma.
Tell me more. Exactly. We won't be on for tea, put it that way. Right then. Thank you all for joining us today. Ernie and Roy, and obviously my right-hand man who's on my left as I look at him, which is always confusing. But hey-ho. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you to everybody in Viewerland, and thank you. Well, listen, I'm always happy. I don't care where I am on the screen. It's only for the said few, I suppose. Listen, come and join us later on. We are live from 7:45 to watch the watch-along. But again, from me and the panel, thanks everybody that's taken part in today's show. It's just a brief look at Eddie Howe's tactics and my findings.
And give your enterprise a little shout out.
So first off, I was going to thank you very much for having us on. I hope I've hid me hangover well, because I was feeling it this morning, and the voice is going a bit as well. But what a night to remember, of course. So yeah, QMG Quizmaster General. I've got my websites, my Facebooks, my Instagrams, all that malarkey. Feel free to give us a little like and a little follow. And I hope to see you very soon, gentlemen.
Superb. Thank you very much for coming on early.
Hang on when we go off.
Roy, anything before we go, bud?
I'm good, mate. I'm just
basking in the glory.
I'm hoping the 16th of March already. Can't wait. And even if it's Liverpool, bring them on.
Yeah, superb. Right then, until later on then, folks, because I'm just looking at the time and I've got to go and get the kids. So I'm going to say ta-ra for now. See you later on.
My name is Mickey. Me no speak English.